Hey, welcome to New Mexico Desert Classics. Today we're going to discuss a sensitive topic for a lot of people. Can I drive a minivan? My answer obviously is yes, and today I'm going to explain to you why today's modern minivan, not the one with all the bells and whistles, but why today's modern minivan is the equivalent of a 1950s station wagon. You guys know I'm a huge Volkswagen guy, and you often hear how the reason the Volkswagen is so iconic is everybody has one as a part of their lives, right? Everybody's mom had one, or grandma had one, or neighbor had one, even if they never had one themselves. Well, station wagons are kind of the same thing, right? Whether it's George Strait talking about, taking his son camping and how it was when you're 7, you're in seventh heaven going camping in the wild outdoors. They loaded up that old station wagon. Or I'll use the example of my dad. My dad was the third of 4 boys in the 1950s and 60s in Northern California up in the sticks. And their family had a vehicle they affectionately called the Bomb. It was a 1956 Ford Ranch wagon. Hopefully, in the not too distant future, I'll be able to feature that car because it's still in my family. But they camped everywhere out of that thing. So today, we're truck people, right? I'm sorry, I sold my F-250 and got a first-gen RAV4 and camped out of that, elk hunted out of that. Well, this weekend, my daughter and I are taking our old minivan. We've got the Kia Carnival there that we just replaced. And yes, if you're a fan of the channel, if you subscribe, you probably know that I made the decision to get rid of my Jeep and keep this when we replaced this minivan with the new one. And here's the reason. My 14-year-old daughter, has a deer tag, so we'll be camping this weekend while she hunts, and a Jeep just doesn't cut it, right? Like, it's got no storage. Yes, it's 4-wheel drive and this isn't, but this is a 2013 Toyota Sienna L. It's the base model, with 180,000 miles on it. But just look how flexible this is. So I'm going to put an extender on it today. We've got the hitch. I'm going to put the extension on it just in case she does harvest a deer. I don't want to be hauling a deer inside, which I have done with an elk in a 2001 Ford Expedition. I'll see if I can find a picture and slap that in here for you guys to laugh at me. But just look at this. I pulled out the middle seats. Still working on figuring out how to pull the slider rails out. I'll probably have to use somebody else's YouTube how-to on that. Folded down the rear seats. I can actually lay in the back of this and not even get to the sliders when they're all the way up anyway. But the flexibility that this allows is just insane. So we'll be packing it full of stuff, heading to the campsite. And if we did have more people going with us, I've got a 5x8 trailer that I tow, right? So if it wasn't just my daughter and I going, if we were taking the rest of the family, I can reconfigure it in a bunch of different ways. On camping trips in the past, my wife and the babies, when we had babies, would sleep in the van, and the older kids and I would sleep in a tent. Right, but for this trip, it's just going to be me in the driver's seat, my daughter in the passenger seat, all of our gear in here, and then we will set up camp, set up our beds, and sleep in in something enclosed, since we live in bear country. Not that I'm afraid of sleeping in a tent, but if I have the opportunity to not sleep on the hard rocky ground, I'm going to do that. So to me, the answer to the question, can a real man drive a minivan? I'm not a fan of the term real man, but the bottom line answer is yes. So I did not skip a beat when I sold my F-250 and replaced it with a RAV4, because I bought a little 5x8 trailer. And let me tell you, when you buy a washing machine or a refrigerator, it is so much easier dollying it up a ramp onto a 5x8 trailer behind a minivan than it is in a truck. I cannot think of any time that I have gone, man, I wish I hadn't have sold my truck. I know that sounds odd to a lot of people, but this is far more useful. It is the ultimate flexible vehicle, which is what the 50s wagon was, right? So in the 50s, 60s, 70s, all those road trips, it was because you could pack them full of people, you could pack them full of stuff, and away you went. There were no restrictions, right? It wasn't what can you fit in the trunk. Whether it was that, now I do think it would be cool if I could flip these seats around and have them face backwards. Um, these ones here, obviously not those ones up there, but if I could put these seats backwards to where the kids could watch out the back window like you could in a Vista Cruiser, right? That would be dope. But so I'm going to wrap it up for today. I will pick it up a little bit more when I get the van all packed worth of stuff, and then we'll report back after we're done. All right, so we're basically all loaded up. Extra sleeping bags. There's only 2 of us, but there's a total of 5 sleeping bags in there. 2 types of bedrolls because the floor of the van's not completely flat. It is quite flat. Got our groceries in the back. Where we're going to be hunting, we're expecting 18 degrees tonight, so we're going to freeze our butts off. But again, show me a vehicle that you can do this. And I mean, yeah, you can put a cap on a truck and it kind of does the same thing, but then when you take the cap off, you still just have a truck. For this, I'm going to take everything out. If we needed to haul somebody, you know, if we were to encounter somebody who needs a ride, we can consolidate everything, throw the back seats back up, and we've got seat belts for everybody. So away we go. All right, so last minute gear check. Got my toiletries in the amazing shaving bag. Got the cooking supplies, got the cooler, got the clothes, got the sleeping bags, got the water, got the more water, got the more water, got the more water, got the more water, got the binocs. Can't show you the Second Amendment part because last time I did that, they deleted the video. Yay, YouTube. Got the table, got the chairs, got the propane lantern. Propane bottles are in with the clothes. All right, I think we're good to go.